Statio Sabbato pos Cineres, Sant'Agostino and the memory of St Tryphon. The Lenten pilgrim, having received the ashes and begun the discipline of the fast, is led on this first Saturday to a place layered with memory. Today the station is kept at St Augustino, yet the Roman tradition remembers that it once belonged to the now vanished church of San Trifone. The building has disappeared, the saint has not. There is something profoundly Lenten in that. The church of San Trifone stood near this very square, receiving for centuries the solemn procession of clergy and faithful. Its titular saint, St Tryphon, was a young martyr of the 3rd century, steadfast in confession, serene under suffering, youthful in tears, mature in fidelity. He ended persecution without compromise. The early Roman Church chose him as a guardian of this day. Why? Because Lent begins not only with sorrow, but with resolve. Ash Wednesday humbles us. It reminds us of dust and death. But repentance without firmness dissolves into sentiment. The Church, therefore, placed before the newly penitent a martyr, not yet the solemn martyrs of Passiontide, but a youthful witness who stands at the threshold of the fast and says, "Persevere." The liturgy of this day speaks of healing, a fast wholesomely ordained for body and soul. Yet healing requires endurance. A body being restored to strength must resist relapse. A soul turning from sin must withstand temptation. Tryphon's quieting courage embodies that necessary constancy. Then history intervened. San Trifone was demolished. The station was transferred to St Augustino, dedicated to St Augustine of Hippo, the great doctor of conversion and grace. Now the saint of interior restlessness stands where once the youthful martyr stood, and in truth they belong together. Tryphon represents outward fidelity under trial. Augustine represents inward transformation through grace. One endured persecution, the other endured himself. One confessed Christ before tyrants, the other confessed his sins before God. Lent requires both forms of courage. Standing beneath the Renaissance proportions of Sant'Agostino, the pilgrim encounters architecture marked by order and harmony. Columns rise with measured dignity, light descends through stained glass, the altar stands at the centre, luminous and still. The building itself seems to preach Augustine's doctrine. Love must be ordered. Desire must be purified. Grace restores proportion where sin has distorted it. The physical disappearance of San Trifone teaches another lesson. Stones fall. Convents are confiscated. Regimes pass. Yet the liturgy remembers. The Roman Church carries her saints not merely in marble, but in memory. The stational calendar preserves what politics and time erase. So on this Saturday after Ash Wednesday, the faithful are invited into a double meditation. First, the courage of St Tryphon, the firmness to endure fasting, temptation, and opposition without compromise. Second, the wisdom of St Augustine, the humility to admit disorder within and to submit the heart to the healing discipline of grace. The Lenten road has only begun. We have left the dust of Ash Wednesday behind, but the battle is not yet fierce. This is the day of quiet strengthening, a day to resolve, to recollect, to steady the will. The vanished church of a young martyr whispers perseverance. The standing church of a great doctor whispers conversion. Together they teach the pilgrim that Lent is not an emotional season, nor a mere external observance, but a deliberate reordering of love sustained by courage. The procession moves forward. The fast continues. The soul, if it listens, begins to grow firm.